Welcome to ReginaldESQ. I'm Underhook and this is my review of the Tier 6 German medium tank, the VK 30.02M. The M I think stands for medium. Now, is this tank any good? Well, this tank to me is the epitome of an average tank. It's neither, I can't say that it's a good tank, but I can't say that it's a bad tank. It's just average. Well, let's get into the review. It has 840 hit points, which is a lot, and it's the most of any Tier 6 medium tank. The next closest is the Cheeto, which has 820, and the next closest after that, I think, is the VK 3001D, which has 770 hit points. So it has a lot of hit points, this tank. Weighs from 42 to 45 tonne, has 700 horsepower, and a speed limit of 55 kilometers an hour, which it will do given a bit of time. It will do that on the flat, but it's not, doesn't feel fast. Yeah, it'll get there if you go in a straight line. It'll get to that speed and it'll travel quite well, and down hills it's very good. But it's not a powerful power to weight ratio isn't great, so it's not good up hills or anything like that, but it's okay. However, the traverse speed of 30 is very slow, and it's the equal worst. It shares that honour with the Cheeto, so the traverse speed is poor, and the turret traverse at 30 is also very poor and is the second worst of all the Tier 6s. The worst would be the VK 3001P, and then the next sort of, well, then it would be this tank, and then the next worst one would be the VK 3001D. So the German tanks really have poor turret traverse. Now, the trouble is with this tank is some of the other tanks have, say, a poor track traverse, but their turret traverse is okay. Some of them have a poor turret traverse, but their track traverse is okay. But this tank has poor track and poor turret traverse. So what that means is when other medium tanks or light tanks get behind you and start circling you, you really struggle to keep your gun on them. Even when you're turning your tracks and your gun at the same time, it's not easy because both your turret and tracks have a slow traverse. So that is a bit of an issue with this tank. The view range of 370 is average. Well, all the medium tanks in Tier 6 have either 360 or 370. So this one has 370. So I guess you say it's upper side of average. And the signal range of 710 is actually very good. The only one I think that has better a view range is the Cheeto, and there are a couple that have the same view range, but it's up there, so it's very good. Camouflage wise though, this tank is terrible. It's the worst of all the Tier 6 medium tanks, and it really is quite poor. It's a fairly large tank, even though it's smaller than the 3001H, which is the tank we had before this one. That was a heavy tank. It's smaller than that. It's a bigger tank than the heavy. So the heavy before this tank is actually bigger than it, but it has a lower camouflage rating than that because that one was a heavy and this one is a medium, even though it's bigger. But it is quite a big tank for a medium tank, and its camouflage isn't very good at all. And that's the reason why I don't have any Tier 8 matches for you, because by Tier 8 a lot of tanks have a very good view range, and a lot of people playing those tanks have well-trained crews, and what happens is you get spotted very easily in this tank in the Tier 8 game, and your armor presents no barrier at all to Tier 8 and Tier 7 tanks, and basically as soon as you are spotted you get shot from everywhere. Unless you're behind solid cover, you're toast. And yeah, you haven't got good maneuverability. You've got a not bad top speed, but it doesn't accelerate very well. Poor track traverse, poor turret traverse. If you get caught in the open, you're dead. That's it. So that's a bit of an issue. Gun depression wise, the tank has 7.5 degrees of gun depression, which is Like I say, normally if you watch my reviews, I always say 8 degrees is the minimum to make it a hill fighter. 7.5 is pretty close, so it's not a disaster on a hill, but it's a little bit not great. The gun elevation of 17.5 degrees is a little low as well, but it's adequate. I'll talk about the armor, of course, in Tank Inspector, but yeah, as far as the medium tanks, there are a couple with 5 degrees, but everyone else, well, there's a couple of 5, one with 7, all the rest have 8 or above, so it's kind of lacking a little bit in that area as well. So I've been telling you a lot of things it's lacking in, so I guess its strengths are its hit points and the gun. Probably its strong points, really, and its turret. The front of the turret is a bit bouncy, so that's probably what's got going for it. Let's have a look at the grind, if I can find where it is. Here it is. So I'll get the guns up and we can have a look. Now the first gun is, well, they're both 7.5mm. The first gun's called the L48. The second gun's called the L70. There really is no reason to keep the L48 because whilst it has a slightly higher rate of fire, it's 16.67 versus 14.29, but it has 110 penetration and 110 damage, whereas the L70 beats both. It's got 150 penetration and 135 damage. Accuracy is better on the L70 and the aim time is the same. So there's really no reason to hang on to the L48, so we'll just get rid of that. So yeah, 14.29 rate of fire, which is not bad. Has 150 penetration, which is very good, and is better than most of the tanks in its tier. There are some better, but that's pretty good. Damage of 135 is not bad. It's probably a little below average for its tier, but it's not bad. Now, if you use premium ammunition, you can get your penetration up to 194, which is really good, and you can penetrate some of the tier 8s with that even. The HE ammo with only 38mm of penetration is not worth worrying about. You probably won't even be able to damage anybody with that. 0.35 accuracy is quite good, and the tank is quite accurate, and that is one of the bonuses of the tank. You've got good penetration with reasonable damage and a reasonable rate of fire with good accuracy. So it's an all-round good gun. The aim time though is a little bit slow, but you're pretty much going to have to snipe in this tank most of the time anyway, so you're going to be pretty much at range, so the aim time isn't too much of an issue. Now interestingly, you don't need to get the turret to get to the next tank. All you need to do is get the gun, that's it. So if you want to just quickly bypass it, you can. It is like a pretty average tank. When I'm reviewing now, I upgrade everything so you know what the tank's like fully upgraded. The engine, yeah, it helps a bit. You do kind of need it. The tracks give you an extra 2 degrees of traverse, which you need because its traverse is terrible. The radio is obvious. Now the turret gives you 10 meters extra view range. It gives you an extra 20 mils of frontal armor. The traverse remains the same. It gives you an extra 80 hit points. But the main reason you want the turret is it improves the gun. So it takes the Top Gun rate of fire from 13.04 to 14.29, and it improves the that's it, sorry, it just improves that. So it takes that rate of fire improves by about 10%. So it takes it from 4.6 seconds to reload to a 4.2 second reload. So the turret will give you that. Unfortunately, it also adds 1,500 kilograms onto the tank, so it does slow the tank. So if you're not worried about increasing the rate of fire and getting some extra hit points and a little bit more view range and a little bit better turret armor, you could bypass it if you want, but it's a pretty good upgrade. Let's get back into the tank, and basically that's about it. Let's actually get into Tank Inspector, and I've got a couple of games. Unfortunately, I haven't got any tier 8 games to show you because I pretty much exploded in most of those games as soon as you get spotted. You can do okay for a little while, but once they find out where you are, you're an easy target for people, so they do go after you. Let's get into Tank Inspector. Here we are in Tank Inspector looking at the VK3002M. So let's colorize the view so we can see the armor more easily. And as you can see, quite consistent armor at the front there. We have the upper plate and lower plate both being 60mm in thickness. They are quite heavily sloped, so at this sort of a front on, you're getting equivalent of around 74 there, but the lower plate is really well sloped and get equivalent of 117. So if you're shooting at one of these, contrary to what you normally do with a German tank, you normally aim for the weaker lower plate. On this particular medium, stay away from the lower plate. It's actually the toughest part of the tank. And if you are angled, you can probably, the side of the tank, look, you've got 40 mils of armor, which is not much. So you can't angle it very much. About there, I've got, say, 94 versus 76. Let's have a look. 80, 90, 70, that's about it. That's about as much as you can angle it. Much more than that, and you're starting to weaken the sides too much. But that gives you about, say, 78 mils of penetration. Now, most tanks at your tier 6, are going to punch through that with ease. Most tier 5s will as well, and some tier 4s will have a bit of trouble, and some won't. The front of the turret is fairly thick. Like, this is 100 mils of armor here, but you can see it's fairly flat. So if they hit this part, like I say, tier 5 and above are going to go through that, no problem. And the pink area here of the mantlet is 100 millimeters thick. Once again, they will go through that without too much trouble. However, if they hit the upper part of the mantlet, it's 100 mils over the top of 50 mils, which is very tough indeed. And there are spots like that around the edges, like you do get with mantlets. And this blue section here on the edge of the mantlet is also overlaid armor, and that gives us equivalent in about the 150s, which is pretty tough. Side of the turret is 45 millimeters, which is not going to stop anybody, and the rear of the turret is the same, and the rear of the tank is 40 millimeters, the same as the sides. The cupola has got mostly 80 millimeters with a little section at the top, which is only 45. But that cupola, I didn't get shot in the cupola a lot because you can't. It's a bit with 7.5 degrees gun depression. You're not going hull down that much. The entire deck, and it does have a big deck for artillery to hit, is only 10 millimeters thick. Or sorry, 16 at the front and turret, and 10 millimeters at the rear. So if artillery hits you, you're pretty much a one-shot kill. You've got a few hit points though, so sometimes you can take it. But yeah, it's very weak and very large deck, so easy for artillery to hit. Alright, let's get into some gameplay.
Move out.
The map is Westfield. It's a tier 6 match, and we're in a tier 6 tank, the VK3002M, so it's good. We're top tank. Now, my crew, the commander is 100%, and the rest of the crew in this game are 99%, so they're almost there. I think at this stage, I definitely did. I've got vents fitted, so the vents increase the crew skills by 5%, and I've got camouflage net and binoculars fitted as well. So we're pretty much seeing the tank, as if the crew were 100%. When I've got vents fitted, so it's as good as, pretty much. As you can see, up hills, it's not slow, but it's not exactly a quick tank either. So trying to move into position. This VK3001D has taken the position I want, so I'm just going to pull up sort of next to him. Accidentally bumped into him, not a good idea. So hopefully artillery doesn't hit us, because it'll get 2 for the price of 1 if it does. But artillery normally focuses on the other side of the hill anyway. Bigger and slower targets. Okay, so we've spotted a VK3001D, which is the other medium, like the one that's sitting next to me. You see there, that was a pretty good shot. That wasn't a very good shot by me, but I'm more talking about the gun. Good penetration, good damage, 145. So the guy next to me is getting hit, so he's been spotted. It looks like I wasn't. Or I'm just lucky that no one's having a shot. A couple of the guys got spotted there. Now it may be that because I've got a camouflage net, may be the only thing saving me here. Okay, so one of the guys has spotted this M4, which is great. As you can see, the aim time is a little slow. But at this sort of range, you know, if they can't see you, well, you can get away with having a long aim time. Almost.
Enemy is hit.
Ah, nice lead. And we tracked him.
That one didn't go through.
I have to guess now. So I'm just trying to destroy some cover here to give myself and my teammates an opportunity to shoot the tank. We can just see him through there, but demanding a lot of accuracy to actually hit him through that small space. But we can try. So I'm hoping now my teammates will be able to shoot him from the side, since I've taken out that building at the back of this big building. Unfortunately, this major building isn't completely destructible, only the roof can be sort of taken down a bit. Panzer IV. Don't know what happened with that round.
They're knocked out.
So VK-301D rushing the enemy there.
Penetration.
He comes out, we managed to get a shot in. Hopefully he'll come around this side to get the VK. The VK hopefully will back off a little bit. No, he wants to kill. Oh, and he got it. Good on him. Whoop, I decided it was time to move off, and then I see this KV-1S moving through on the side. We managed to get a good shot into him. Bit with the long aim time does hurt a little bit when they're moving like this. But as you can see though, the aim time and the reload time are fairly well balanced. It sort of reloads just about the same time you need to fire, so it's actually not too bad.
We didn't even
Tracked
scratch
him.
them.
Can we get the kill?
We didn't
Oh,
penetrate their
come
armor.
on! His tracks are back up! Quick! Yes! Now that was a handy kill, that one too, because we would have lost our arty probably if he had got through.
Critical hit.
So that's the heavy tank, which is the one before this tank. We hit him then, I don't know if we penetrated.
Got him.
Well, that one definitely did. Alright, so we've got a couple of kills and a bit of damage. We're actually we've got 3 kills, so one of them must have been off screen. So it's 3 tanks all now. Now, 2 of our tanks are back at our base, our cap. So I'm trying to work out here whether I go back and help defend. Are we going to be attacked? Or should I go out and try and find these other tanks? Given that my camouflage is terrible, once I start moving, good chance of me getting spotted. Now, it turns out we've spotted the T-150, which is a heavy tank. I've got to be careful. Oh, but he's shooting our Su-8, so I've got to get over there. Our arty, I've got to get over as quickly as possible. Okay, I can now see the T-150. Can we penetrate him? He hasn't got a lot of health left.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Oh. Well, that's a good demonstration of the accuracy of the tank there. Unfortunately, he took out... he didn't actually take out our arty, he took out our other tank, which is, at this stage of the game, probably worse. So now I decide to better just hang around and just cover Cap for a little bit, in case he wasn't the only tank moving in. Still 7 minutes left in the game, so it's not too late for me to move up and cap if I need to. The Su-8's doing the right thing, I think, by coming up here. Staying down there is certain death, I think, if they do come after us. So now that the SU-8's come up, I figure we can move together. We've got a better chance of spotting the enemy. If I spot someone, he can shoot it. If he spots someone, hopefully I can kill them before they kill him. So yeah, this gives us our best chance, moving along sort of together with a little bit of space between us. So first I just stop to have a quick look and see if anything pops up. See if they're advancing, and nothing does. So my binoculars activated and I didn't see anything. So now it's time to move forward again. There's no point in not being careful at this stage of the game. We've both got one tank and one arty left. There's no point in just rushing out and getting killed, in my opinion. So as you see, the tank, like I say, it's not a fast tank, but it's not painfully slow either. Okay, so artillery's been spotted. He's actually moving up. He's realised he's moving down. I don't know if he's spotted me or not, but I've got to do something quick or he's going to kill our arty. Now he's aiming at me now, but I'm manoeuvring, and I've been hit by the Wolverine. That's not a good sign. Okay, arty's taking care of him. Actually ricocheted that shot from the Wolverine. There he is. Okay, so at least now we know where he is. He did 108 to us with that shot, which isn't good. He hasn't got a lot of health. Oh, we didn't penetrate. Started moving. Luckily we're on a hill, so I was able to move quickly down the hill. Okay. Well, our artillery got him. Well done. He only had one more shot at left of him, and I had a couple, so we could have got him, but artillery got him, which is good. Okay, so we won the game. It was also a mastery badge game, so it was enough for mastery, and we also got a patrol duty badge. So we got a fair bit of spotting damage there as well. So interesting game. We finished on top for experience with 1,123 experience. That's a lot of experience. So yeah, that was great result. We did 1,893 damage, which was the most damage on our team. But the VK-3001D also did very well, and the SU did a good job as well. The SU-8 artillery got a couple of kills right at the end there. On the other side though, that KV-1S that we managed to kill when it was coming across to get our arty, he did 2818 and he had 5 kills. So definitely was a good move taking him out. We were pretty lucky probably there getting rid of him. If he had to come our side, we would have been in trouble, but I think because he was on the other side, he probably couldn't see us, so he got himself into trouble, which was good for us. Now we fired 41 shots, of which 22 hit. That doesn't sound like good accuracy, but it was very long range at targets that were most of the time, or a lot of the time, moving. So with that in mind, you saw anyway when they weren't moving, the accuracy was pretty good. Now penetration's 19, which is excellent out of 22 sort of longish range shots to get 19 penetrations. Very happy with that. Damage 1893, which is good for this tier. Hits received 4, penetrations 3. So we did manage to bounce a shot. The armor really isn't that good, but the front of the turret can bounce the odd shot, or the lower plate if they happen to hit the lower plate. We spotted 2 vehicles and damaged 8 and destroyed 4, which is a great result. And we also did 952 spotting damage as well. Very profitable game. We did 36,000. The ammunition is a little bit expensive, but it's not too bad. We still made 21,000 profit out of the game, and the experience of 1123 was enough to get mastery. Good game.
Let's go.
The map is Murovanka. It's a tier 6 game, although there are tier 5s and tier 4s in the game as well, which is good for us. So I'm moving across and keeping my gun pointed across, because quite often on this map you get scouts rushing across and other tanks moving, and you do get a chance to have shots like this one. There you go. Happens a lot on this map, so it's a good idea to drive with your gun pointing across, and like that you can get some damage. And also important too, because if scouts zip across, they can spot most of your team and get a few people killed by artillery, etc. So you really need to be ready for them and eliminate them where possible. So continuing my way across now. Try and make up my mind whether I'm going to go the hill here or continue across to the edge into the little bit of forest on my left there where there's a couple of houses and things. Sometimes that's a good spot to sit as well, but I decided to come up here, find a spot in the bush, bit of cover. I really don't want to get too close in this tank because the camouflage isn't great. And it looks like somebody's shooting me there. I don't have sixth sense. Not sure if somebody was just taking a pot shot or what was happening there. A20, which is a tier 4 scout tank. Very fast tank. Try and get a shot. I'm going to take a bit of a risk moving out here. And he's disappeared. KV1, and we penetrate, 111 damage. So you can see the gun penetrates KV1 on the side without any problem. Or at least not that shot anyway. I just guessed the tank might have been about there by then. He actually had already gone past. So, oh no, he hadn't. I'm not sure where I'm aiming now. I'm a bit confused. Anyway.
Enemy is hit.
So there you go. That's pretty consistent damage.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
So you can see the gun is no problem against KV1s. And really, you want to be able to do a pretty good job on a KV1 because that is a tier 5 tank and we're a tier 6 tank, so you want to hope it was pretty good.
Enemy armor is hit.
That really hurt that A20 there. He did the wrong thing backing out. He probably wasn't sure where the shot came from and he decided not to stay behind the building. If that M48 comes out, he's going to spot me, so I need to move. If he spots from the side, people will start shooting me from the front. So I've repositioned so I'm camouflaged from him. And hopefully he's going to come out soon and we'll be able to see him and get shots on him. He seemed to be racing over this way. There he is.
Penetration. Enemy armor is damaged.
We just caught the tail of him with that shot. Didn't really give it enough lead. Oh, now I've just been hit there by, it looks like artillery, I think. Yep. So it may have been that when I was shooting at the, whatever it was, the tank, the M4 Easy 8, that he probably spotted me and artillery decided to shoot at where they thought I was. And you can see there's a lot of artillery going off. They still have got 2 artillery pieces and they're just firing all around there because obviously when I moved, they didn't see me move, I'd say. They probably had lost the spot by then. Okay, enemy heads bites the dust, so it's 8 all at the moment. 8 tanks apiece. Anybody's game. So the KV2's moving up, I'm moving up. Now in that last game I got patrol duty, and that's largely due to tank has got a good view range, but with the binoculars it does make a bit of a difference and does help you get more spotting point damage. Gonna see if I can get this cupola here. Can we? No. Top of the KV2 perhaps. I had to fire quickly then because I just saw at the corner of my screen our KV2 about to pull in front of my shot. He's taking a big risk getting out there, the KV2, but he did some good damage on the enemy KV2, so I guess he's justified. Whoop, I've been hit by a Stug. So I was going to fire that shot I gave away my position. The Stug is probably sitting up on the hill on the other side though, which is a very good scouting position. I'd say that, judging by the hit direction indicator telling me. That's about where he is. So if I come up here, I might be able to spot him if I can stay behind the cover of the bush and look up towards the ridge, but no, can't see him. I've got to be careful here because if I get within 50 metres of that Cheeto, it'll be an automatic spot, and then that Stug 3 will start shooting at me again. So I need to go around here, covering myself from the hill. That shot went into the dirt, I think. Oh, you elusive Cheeto. Come on, let me shoot you. That was a rush shot, and once again the KV2 pulls in front of my shot. Okay, fair enough. You got the kill, so that's all that matters. Oh, artillery has hit me, so it looks like the Cheeto did spot me while I was trying to get him there. Not a lot of damage, 34. Actually, I think that shot just tracked me. It was a 34 got done earlier, I think. Okay, there's the Stug, and that's about where I thought he was. I don't think he's spotted us yet, so we should be able to get a free shot on him.
Penetration.
Nice.
Penetration.
He's moving very slowly, so I don't know if we made a damage to his engine or something.
Destroyed.
So we got him, but we must have got spotted because artillery is shooting at us yet again. He's probably feeling a bit unlucky, that artillery. Now, things have changed. Even though it looks like we've been doing okay, we now only have 3 tanks and they have 4. Actually, we've just lost another tank, so we've only got 2 tanks left. Our KV2 and myself. We're both of us, though, on pretty much full health, so... And we're both having pretty good games. We've got 3 kills, he's got 2. So I decided to sit up here in this bush and just spot, because I did see a tank down there before. Here it comes. That was the one that killed our other tank. I saw them having a duel, but I didn't see the result of the duel. I mean, I didn't see where the tank ended up. So that was good. So that was just a bit of, I noticed the tank up there, took a position where I thought he might be coming from, and it paid off. So now it's 3 against 2. The KV hit him as well, so we're still got pretty much full health. So even though it's 3-2, they've 2 of theirs are artillery, so as long as we can avoid being spotted. Well, KV2's obviously been spotted. He's been hit by probably artillery, I think. So I'm coming up here now to see if I can see what's spotting the KV2. So if I can get rid of whatever it's spotting and help him out. Okay, so there it is. It's a Panzer IV. He's hit me with HE for 403 damage. So he's hit me very hard. So it may even have been him that shot the KV2, not artillery. So I saw the shot came from over this way. I figure I'm just going to move as quickly as possible to try and bridge the gap. Because obviously we're spotted and he's just going to pick us off. So we need to move and work out what's going on. Now the KV2's actually been killed. So it's just me now and 3 of them. Can I pull out a win from here? Crashing into the building like that probably doesn't fill you with confidence. So I decided to move into these bushes here in case that Panzer IV was in here. I thought maybe he was in here. And even though his last name position was way over the other side of the map, sorry, the Bandicam turned off. I thought he was over here somewhere, so now I'm really not sure. There he is. Okay, here he comes. He doesn't know where I am. Oh my god, I've missed a shot. He's at full health too.
Penetration.
With his HE gun, he can really smash me, so I've got to be very careful. Now artillery shooting at me, so I've obviously been spotted. Artillery has I think it's probably splash damage, only 12 damage.
Enemy armor is
We get another shot into him and manage to get behind the building.
penetration.
Another shot into him. Now he hits me for 374. That really hurt,
They're knocked out.
but we managed to get him. I don't want to stop because artillery has been trying to get me all the time, and they've got a lot of fire going, these guys, and they're fairly rapid fire. So hopefully I've disappeared off the artillery map, and judging by where those shells just hit, I think I have. Now, I've got a pretty good idea that artillery is over to my left right now, but I don't want to drive straight over there because they'll probably see me. So I'm going to make sure I'm totally off the radar, and I'm going to try and approach from a different direction, or a direction they're not ready for. So I'm going to head right up here into the forest and try and come around the long way. And hopefully I can catch them off guard. And also just in case there's one of them hiding in the forest here. If I spot one on the way through. Okay, so one of them started capping, which is good. That means I know where that one is, so I'll avoid going near the cap. I'll go to the cap last because I know where he is. What they're probably thinking is, you go cap, I'll cover you while you're on cap. When he tries to shoot you or be spotted, then I'll get him. So I'm going to try and get the other one first, then go and finish the one at cap. I'm driving along the edge here, hoping I'm going to spot someone. No, nothing yet. I don't know where the hell they are. Ah, here he is. Okay, we didn't spot him till pretty late. Oh no, he's pointing his gun at us. He's hit us, but only did critical damage. We get the kill. My tracks are back up. Let's go get the other guy at base. Oh! Well, it was only 17 damage, but we didn't have much health left. Well, a great game with a bit of a disappointing ending. Such is life. Now, that game was also good enough for a mastery badge, and we got a high caliber badge there as well. As you can see, we did a bit of spotting, and we did a lot of tank hitting and tank killing. Nice looking screen, that one. And let's have a look. We got the most experience on our team, but we didn't get the most experience for the game. That went to the Panzer IV with 1112 experience, which is a very good game for him, and he did over 2000 damage, 2056. But we didn't do too bad. We obviously got the best on our team, and we probably, if we'd won that game, we would have got, I think it's another third experience you get for winning, or is it half? Oh, I think it's a third, so we'd have got about another 250. We'd have been about 1,000, I think. Anyway, we did 2,256 damage, which is really good, and we got 5 kills, which is fun as well. Let's have a look at the next screen, and we can see we fired 26 shots and had 20 hits, so that's pretty good accuracy. Now, of those 20 shots, all 20 of them penetrated, which is fantastic. Great gun at tier 6, this gun. In fact, it's a great gun even at tier 7, and it's pretty good at tier 8. It's just the fact that at tier 8 and 7 you tend to get spotted very easily, and the armor just doesn't stand up at all, and you just get ripped to pieces. Well, I do anyway. Damage, we did 2,265, which is really great, and we received 6 hits, 5 penetration, so we managed to bounce 1. I think actually that was a ricochet from recollection. Which I think ricochet means that it was an auto bounce because the angle was too great. We got 4 splash damage. We spotted 2, damaged 8, destroyed 5, which is really great, and 638 spotting damage as well, which I'm very happy with. Now, we did use a repair kit there, which cost us 3,000. But other than that, if we didn't spend that, you could say we spent about 9,000, so we still would have made, even without those other bonuses, we would have made, you know, 28,000, and with the repair kit down to about 25,000. So a good profitable game. So it's a good tank in that respect. 717 raw experience. That's it, folks. Thank you for watching my review of the VK3002M. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos, please subscribe to ReginaldESQ. While you're out there, have fun.